It's not to say that Tyson can't put him under pressure, but I think he'd have to be a little bit more thoughtful about how he applies the pressure than he was. I'm saying that than he was in the second fight. I just think he still, the way he closed the gap and pushed Wilder back was educated. I just think that there'll be less chances for him to push Wilder back or let his hands go as much.
Those are the words of Ben Davidson, as you heard him say, the former trainer of Tyson Fury, that Tyson Fury won't have the chances or the opportunities to push Wilder back this fight like he did the second fight, and he has to be more mindful, more thoughtful on how he does that and how he applies pressure. Let me counterpunch. I think he's absolutely spot on with that, Ben Davidson, because if you look at Ben Davidson and the way he strategized the game plan with Tyson Fury, he utilized what Tyson Fury could do at the time. Well, as the second fight evolved after the Otto Wallin fight, there were discussions and things of that nature, and they brought someone else in, and that other person, which is Javon Sugar Hill, advised another game plan, and that was totally different. This was more of the aggressive one, the more of the Freddie Roach influenced type of game plan that these guys were implementing in that fight, and it worked because Deontay Wilder, they found out he couldn't. Now I think, and I think that those guys know that Wilder will be ready for someone that intends on coming forward. So if you know what a person's going to do, it's going to be harder to do that. We had a great live discussion yesterday about, what to expect from Tyson Fury. Will he do the same thing? Yeah, he said he was going to do the same thing, but then will he really do that? And then if he does that, will it cost him? And I think at this point, I think Malik Scott is going along with the idea of Tyson Fury implementing the same game plan, because Tyson Fury does what he's going to do in the ring. Yeah, he talks a lot of crap, he does, but at the end of the day, he pretty much does it. You know what I mean? I think those videos of Wilder are set out as warnings for Tyson Fury. I think what they are for, you see Wilder working the body, you see him throwing a right and then dipping, to avoid the counter punch. You see a lot of that. 4 or 5 punch combinations from Wilder. When the last time you saw that? They're putting that out there to warn Tyson Fury, like, hey, this is what's going to happen to you when you attempt to come in with feints. When you try to feint me, I'm going to come in with 3 punches on you, 4 punches on you. So this may be more of a chess match. And according to Ben Davidson, the way he's talking, maybe the first game plan that him along with Tyson Fury implemented would probably be more of that type style fight than the fight that we had before, because it totally caught Wilder off guard. You mean to tell me this dude is going to totally run over me? Now, the only reason I think Tyson Fury will try that again is because he's trying to be 300 pounds. So he wants that. So he thinks, well, hey, to 300 pounds, they'll give me more power. They'll give me more this and more that. And I'll be able to put that pressure on, just like someone like Jeff Horn did to Pacquiao. Pacquiao was a smaller guy, faster hands, but he was getting roughed up to the point he got headbutted. It kind of threw off his equilibrium, and the blood was a distraction, and all those type of things that happened in that fight. But the size was a factor also. The way he roughed up Pacquiao, the way he leaned on Pacquiao, the way he had him in a headlock and he grabbed him and he clenched him, and it was rough house tactics, but he was able to get his punches off too. Okay, with the awkwardness of the type style that he had, and he gave Pacquiao problems in that fight. And Pacquiao in the 10th round, when he hurt him, he couldn't close the show. Saying all that to say this, okay? Tyson Fury gaining more weight, he feels that, hey, more weight, more influence, and more pressure can be aggressively adapted and implemented. Okay, he can implement more pressure because he's bigger. You know, if I'm 270 and I can do this, imagine what I'll do when I'm 300. So it's a lot of things that could go down in this fight. But I do agree with Ben Davidson. He's going to have more. He has to put in more thought behind just coming right at Deontay Wilder, because Deontay Wilder is timing for that right hand, and he's waiting for certain things that him and Malik Scott is working on. I don't know how effective they will be, but they're working on it. So they're preparing for it. So if they're preparing for it, you have to understand and have to respect the idea like, yo, that guy is waiting for you to do this particular thing. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Ben Davidson's comments towards Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been counterpunching. Peace.